Welcome to True Jamaica Buzz, news and entertainment with a buzz. This one is called Uptown Mix Up. Now, a lot of persons are going to probably say, me never know, say, Uptown people in a mix up to, in a passa passa. The truth and the fact is that everybody have some sorts of mix up, depends on the level of mix up that you're involved with. The difference between uptown and downtown mix up, uptown mix up is kept under the quiet. Downtown mix up is very scandalous. But people, this one is as bad as it gets. Because in this story that I am going to speak about, the father-in-law, Luther Morgan, head of a real estate empire, breed his son's wife on their honeymoon. The son's name is Kareem Morgan. He is the head or the heir of the empire, the real estate empire. Then his wife, Shanice Morgan. Kareem is 29, the wife is 26. The wife is what you consider as a mid-level, meaning that middle class. Father, filthy rich, millionaire, American style, not Jamaican money. The story is in Jamaica. They are from Kingston. All of them are from Kingston. However, the heir and the head of a real estate empire, millions of US dollars. So the wife and the husband got married in Blue Mountain, luxurious stuff, all kind of politician, uppity people. They then decide that they're going to go to Montego Bay for the honeymoon a couple of weeks later, 2 weeks or so. The father paid for the marriage, the wedding. The father also planned, executed the honeymoon. He paid for the yacht. He paid for top-class villa, 7-star. He paid for butler. He paid for just about all the expenses that are included in it. However, there was one thing, is that the father-in-law to the wife was going to also be on the honeymoon. When the wife was told about it, the wife said to herself, that is kind of strange. Me married to him son, me never married to him. Me never really hear say the father-in-law accompany the honeymoon too. However, the son reassured her he's just doing it because he wants to bond with the wife. It is just family bonding. She was kind of skeptical at first, but she decided that she was going to go with it. However, it seems as if the son kind of had the plan. He had motive because he's a stark workaholic. So therefore, he figured that whenever he was working, whenever he was distracted by work, the father or his father-in-law could keep the wife's company. That would become a very big, big mistake. First day, 2 day, everything okay. Yes, the husband, Kareem, was getting all sorts of calls, interrupted by business meetings. He would often get upset. However, then he would come back to himself and they would enjoy their honeymoon. They would have walk under the moonlight, candlelight dinner, the things that married people do. The father kind of gave them their space at first. He went and he go play golf with the uppity people them like himself, management of the villa, people like those in the area, rich people, they network. However, it seems as if the wife, Shanice, started to get lonely and lonelier as the days go by. And the husband would often be upset, storm out, gone outside on the phone and talk, a cuss, a raise all hell, because his business partners, while he was away, they seems to be screwing up stuff. So I went to resolve it, often hours, sometimes the whole day, sometimes half a day. So the wife was becoming increasingly upset, kind of confused about the whole thing. After all, it was their honeymoon. So whenever the husband would go missing, it seems as if the father-in-law was conveniently always there. he would check up. As a matter of fact, all of them were staying in the same villa. The father-in-law in the guest villa. So whenever he heard the door slam and the husband get upset, and he would look into the wife's face, the wife would be visibly upset. The wife would be confused, and he would kind of calm her down. He was like a shoulder to lean on. The more and more days that the honeymoon went on, is the more and more that the husband becomes more and more of a workaholic. Could not separate the work from his honeymoon, from his love life, from spending quality time with the wife. And again, more and more, the father-in-law was there to comfort her. It starts casual conversation. Then the conversations would get more and more personal. He would compliment her. However, those compliments started from normal to starting to sound a little bit personal, a little more sexual, a little more as if something you would say if you're looking at a woman without any sorts of regards. So in other words, it sounded like sexual stuff. Anyways, like me say, the husband keep her going, keep her tend to call, the walks under the moonlight. He would become missing for a lot of the candlelight dinners, a lot of the occasions when they should have spent time, him out, him get up early in the morning before them go walk on the beach, kick sun, him dep on all sorts of conference call. He was steadily working. However, he was not putting in the work that he should have been putting in. He wasn't working his wife like he should have. The father seemed like him start grow some feelings. Instead of the father pull the son aside and say, listen, son, remember, you're getting married or you just get married. Pay attention. Give your wife the attention. Keep off her work for a little bit. If at any worse, you should multitask. That means handle business, but handle your personal affairs, the affairs of your wife and yourself. However, the father did not tell him that, and he seems as if he did not really care. It was all about business. So therefore, instead of killing two birds with one stone, the marriage or the honeymoon of the marriage was less of a priority. It is all about work, not doing the right work. On or about day 6, again, husband storm off, gone go talk to him business partners for a couple hours. The AC in the villa broke down. So everybody in their heart, say uptown people can't really take the pressure. Them can't do without the AC in the car and even at the house. Unlike broke people where them have to just sweat it out and have some sorts of towel. So anyways, the wife kind of hot in her villa in her room. She go in the kitchen in her impy-skimpy outfit. Likewise, the father-in-law, him going to the kitchen, coincidentally, don't know if he heard the wife and go out there and a pose. Him go there and one little impy-skimpy linen pants or shorts. She in a little impy-skimpy dress. And then she look kind of frustrated and him ask her a question, is everything okay? And of course, he could see in her eyes. And of course, he'd heard the conversations or the argument, be it not as bad as he probably thought. Anyway, the two eyes them make 4 and the lips them lock. And the wife said, hold on a minute. She kind of brace back and him kind of brace back and then she ran into the bathroom of the guest house. And she looked at herself in the mirror and she said to herself, no sir, something right. This feels a little bit dangerous. I have to be careful. Of course, the father, him just left. Him not really say a word. The wife was more concerned because she barely know the father. She know the son. She married to the son. And she was kind of concerned, even though she was lonely, even though she needed affection. She just thought that she was going below the belt. It is a line in the sand that you definitely do not cross. But it seems as if the time that they crossed that line, it would only lead to worse and worse things. So that was day 6 of the 2 weeks honeymoon. The things start get worse. She start get more lonely. The father-in-law start to realize that she was becoming more and more frustrated, and he became the shoulder to lean on more and more. He was always conveniently, every time she needed a shoulder to lean on. Fast forward about day 10 or so, it is said that the husband stormed out, went to a meeting again, frustrated, slammed the door. The father-in-law, his father, heard the slamming of the door, came to check on the wife, Shanice, once again. They were face to face, lips locked again. In the guest room, the father then pushed her back on the bed and them start to make passionate love. Make love, then rest and talk. Lay down in a bed as if nothing go on, as if he was the husband and she was the wife, not realizing that he is the stepfather and she is the wife of his son. But it seems as if his lust, or him love, or him compassion, or whatever it is, them kind of lose track, far from reality. They had broken, went below the belt, crossed a line that no father, no wife should cross, none at all cross, miserable and angry. Now, this is when the story starts to turn for the worse, era, when SHIT pretty much hits the fan. When the son came back a little bit earlier, a tad bit earlier than they had anticipated. When he came back, him kind of smell the sex in the ear. Him kind of hear all sorts of morning sound. Him couldn't believe himself. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. However, he was going to play possum. He was going to see, even though he knew something was wrong, if his suspicions were as bad as he thought. He decided that he was going to play detective. This was day 10 or so of 14, 2 weeks, 7 days, 7 days. After that incident, for some sort of reason, the wife was supposed to see her period. She did not see it. Maybe about day 12, day 13, she decided that she was going to go and get one of those tests that you get at the pharmacy. When she did the test came back positive. She said to herself, based on the fact that my workaholic husband is not working me, and then the father I work me like him a Rihanna, him a work. Chances are, the possibilities are, the amount of passion and affection that I got from that man pretty much supersede, trumps over all the time that I've made love to my husband, if any at all. So the possibilities are the father would have been the stepfather. So she did the test and she told her stepfather, the father of the husband, that she was pregnant. It came back positive. He did not sound as enthused. She knew that something was wrong. She knew that the husband, though he was not very violent, he would have an outburst. Him kind of have double, what you call it, bipolarism. Him kind of have Jekyll and Hyde kind of syndrome. So she did not know what to expect, but whatever response she was going to get, it was not going to get good. So she suggested to the father, maybe we should get away. What is going to happen now? Because she was not thinking about having any sorts of take with a little picnic abortion. She decided that she's a wife, so therefore she wants a child. Even if that child was not the husband's child, it was actually the stepfather child, or that is exactly what she thought. The stepfather, father, Luther, did not have much to say. He was just there for the moment. He was just capitalizing on the lapse of his son, making passionate love to his son's wife and his daughter. So anyway, the husband started the detective work. However, he was not coming up with anything. Him check her phone when she got on her bed. him start to watch the reaction between them, and he knew exactly that something was wrong. What made it even worse is that she had hidden the test that she had taken in one of the drawers in the guest room, and the husband find it. The husband looked on it, he saw the positive, I guess, blue, and him said to himself, then hold on a minute. If my wife get pregnant, the first thing she's going to say is that, baby, we are going to have a baby. However, if his baby was having a baby for an ex-man, that is reason why she would have hidden it, especially when he started to hear suspicions or feel suspicions, especially when he smelled sex in the ear, especially when he saw that his father was looking at his wife in some way that he found very inappropriate. What made it even worse is the fact that when he found the test, he saw his wife outside on the phone whispering to his father, holding her belly like she was showing him, yeah, I am pregnant for you. He saw everything in intricate details. That is when the son decides, you know what, I'm going to put a stoppage to this. After the wife went back to the room and the father was in his room, that was when the son decided that he was going to confront the father and give the father a royal beatdown. He confronted him, told him about the test, told him about the detective work that he has been doing and the suspicions and what he's seen, and asked him why. Ask the father, you're the one that is supposed to protect me. You're the one that is supposed to advise me. You're the one that is telling me to pay attention to my wife. How could you do this? The father really did not have anything much to say, and the son commenced to giving him a royal beatdown. Meaning they were going back and forth, but the advantage, big advantage, went to the son and pretty much frazzled out the father. The wife was in the room hearing all the commotion, probably more than likely knew exactly what was going on and why, feeling guilty. However, when she heard the ratakan that the son was putting on the father, she decided that she's going to step in. When she stepped in and stopped it, that was when the husband confronted her and asked her, how could you betray me like that? How could you stoop so low? Why him? Why my father? You could not do it with anybody else. You couldn't find anybody else. However, the son did not do what most persons would expect of most Jamaican that goes in circumstances like this. He decided that he was going to leave. He left for a couple of hours. His wife and his father, her stepfather, start to consult each other and I wonder if everything is okay, if him take for himself what is going on. It is said that he came back from wherever he went, obviously went to get some sort of sleeping pill. They were there and he went in the room. Them know said not to go in front of him because him probably explode once again. When the wife eventually went to the room, her worst nightmare, them thing the way him they get, him swallow all of them and he was out cold. That was when she consulted with the father again. Maybe we should get away. Maybe we should take away ourselves from all of this shame, all of this guilt. Because you know, say uptown people, them keep them stuff hush hush, they are not very scandalous. But SHIT was about to hit the fan. Obviously, people here say two rich people are a rich man and his wife here of a real estate empire went on a honeymoon and he lost his life under controversial means. YouTube policy, understand. So the parents of the wife start to scold her. They was a very shame of the fact that the wife had done something like that. Their daughter had done something like that. So anyways, honeymoon done. She left, did not hear back from the father, stepfather. Went about, had her baby girl, and went on with her life in shame. Moral of the story is this. Sometimes when you have a good thing, you have to find a balance. Meaning that if you have a wife, if you have a husband, you have to multitask. Meaning that know where your priorities lie. There's a time and place for everything. Obviously, The husband was too busy working and was not working what he was supposed to be working, especially when it is time for work, as in a honeymoon. The father capitalized on the circumstance. The father who had lost his wife and was telling this lady that she reminded him of his ex-wife that he lost. Him take advantage of the situation. Him take advantage of his son. And he slept with his son's wife. At the end of the day, whenever you are a person, man or woman, sleeps with your best friend wife, your best friend husband, your brother or your sister, vice versa wife, that is a law that nobody should go. There is no sort of excuse for that. There is no sort of justification. But like I said, people, uptown people are just as mixed up as downtown people. Them just keep it hush-hush. However, this one was exposed, the shame and the guilt and the fact that somebody actually lost their life. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.